palpable sense of mystery and anticipation hung in the air. The Buddha, nearing the end of his earthly journey, was in Kushinagar. This was where he would reach parinirvana. His followers gathered, their hearts heavy with a mixture of sorrow and reverence. They knew the end was near. They wanted to soak in every last word of their beloved teacher. The atmosphere was thick with a profound silence, punctuated by the rustling leaves of the sala trees. The Buddha's frail body, ravaged by illness, rested on a simple bed beneath the trees, yet his spirit remained undimmed. His eyes, though weak, still held the spark of wisdom and compassion that had drawn so many to him. The air was filled with the scent of sandalwood and the soft chanting of monks. The followers listened intently to the Buddha's every breath, every word. They wanted to remember this moment. This was a moment that would forever be etched in the annals of history. It was a moment that marked the culmination of a life dedicated to the pursuit of truth and the liberation of all beings. The Buddha, born Siddhartha Gautama, had lived a remarkable life. He was born a prince into a life of privilege. However, he renounced worldly comforts at the age of 29. He sought to understand the true nature of suffering. After years of intense meditation and searching, he attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree. He became known as the Buddha, the awakened one. He dedicated the rest of his life to sharing his insights. He traveled extensively throughout India. He taught the Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path. His teachings resonated with people from all walks of life. People were drawn to his message of compassion, wisdom, and liberation from suffering. The Buddha's teachings were revolutionary. They challenged the existing social hierarchy and religious dogma. He emphasized personal experience and self-discovery over blind faith. His message of universal love and compassion transcended cultural and religious boundaries. His teachings offered a path to genuine happiness and freedom from the cycle of birth and death. In his final days, the Buddha faced immense physical pain. His body, weakened by age and illness, made every movement a struggle, yet his spirit remained unbroken. He used his suffering as a teaching tool. He demonstrated the impermanence of the physical body. He emphasized that true peace comes from within. The Buddha also confronted emotional challenges. He witnessed the sorrow of his disciples. He knew they were grappling with the impending loss of their teacher. He comforted them with words of reassurance. He reminded them that death is a natural part of life. They should not fear it. He encouraged them to continue his work. They should spread his teachings and help others find the path to enlightenment. Despite his weakened state, the Buddha continued to teach. He gave teachings on mindfulness, compassion, and the importance of letting go of attachments. He shared stories from his own life. He illustrated key principles of his teachings. He never wavered in his dedication to guiding others towards the path of liberation. Even as his physical body declined, the Buddha's mind remained sharp. He continued to share his wisdom with those around him. His teachings in these final days were particularly poignant. They carried the weight of a lifetime of experience and understanding. They offered a glimpse into the depths of his profound insight. One of his final teachings focused on the importance of self-reliance. The Buddha emphasized that each individual must take responsibility for their own spiritual journey. He reminded his followers that he could only show them the path. They had to walk it themselves. They had to cultivate their own understanding. They had to find their own liberation. The Buddha also stressed the interconnectedness of all beings. He taught that compassion and loving kindness should extend not just to ourselves and those we love. It should extend to all living creatures. He reminded his followers that true happiness comes from recognizing the inherent unity of all things. We are all interconnected. In his final moments, the Buddha shared his most profound teaching. He spoke of the three marks of existence, Anitya, Dukkha, Anatman. These three concepts are the foundation of Buddhist philosophy, offering a profound understanding of the nature of reality. Anitya, or impermanence, points to the ever-changing nature of all things. Everything is in constant flux, nothing remains the same. Dukkha, or suffering, arises from our attachment to things that are impermanent. When we cling to things that are constantly changing, we create suffering for ourselves. Finally, Anatman, or no self, challenges challenges our notion of a fixed and independent self. It suggests that our sense of self is an illusion, constructed from fleeting thoughts, emotions, and experiences. By recognizing the impermanence, suffering, and lack of a fixed self, we can free ourselves from the cycle of dissatisfaction. We can find true peace and liberation. Echoes of wisdom, the significance of the final teachings. The Buddha's final teachings carry profound significance. They offer a glimpse into the mind of a fully awakened being, providing guidance for navigating the challenges of life and death. They offer a path to liberation from suffering. The teachings emphasize the importance of living in the present moment. We should embrace impermanence, cultivate compassion and understanding, and let go of attachments. These teachings are not just theoretical concepts, they are practical guidelines for living a more fulfilling and meaningful life. The Buddha's final words serve as a powerful reminder that the journey to enlightenment is an ongoing process. It is a process that requires dedication, self-reflection, and a willingness to let go of our preconceived notions. It is a journey that is open to all who seek to understand the true nature of reality. The enduring legacy of the Buddha. The Buddha's teachings have had a profound impact on the world. They have inspired millions of people over centuries and continue to offer guidance and solace in a world often marked by uncertainty and suffering. His message of compassion, wisdom, and liberation from suffering resonates as strongly today as it did over 2,500 years ago. The Buddha's legacy is not just a set of teachings, it is a living tradition. It is embodied by countless individuals who strive to live according to his principles. It is a testament to the power of human potential. We can transform ourselves. We can create a more peaceful and compassionate world. The Buddha's life and teachings serve as a beacon of hope, reminding us that true happiness is possible. We can find it through cultivating wisdom, compassion, and understanding. His teachings offer a path to inner peace and freedom from suffering. They invite us to embark on our own journey of self-discovery. The path to enlightenment, a journey for all. The Buddha's teachings are not just for monks or scholars, they are for anyone who seeks to understand the true nature of reality and find lasting happiness. The path to enlightenment is open to all. It requires a willingness to look within, a commitment to cultivating compassion and wisdom. The Buddha's teachings offer a practical guide for navigating the challenges of life, providing a framework for understanding our emotions, developing healthy relationships, and living a life of purpose and meaning. The journey to enlightenment is not always easy. It requires patience, perseverance, and a willingness to confront our own shortcomings. But the rewards are immeasurable. The path leads to a life filled with peace, joy, and a deep understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Explore the Dharma, a call to action. The Buddha's final teachings invite us to embark on our own journey of exploration. They urge us to delve deeper into the Dharma, the teachings of the Buddha. They call upon us to discover the transformative power of his wisdom for ourselves. The Buddha's teachings are not a dogma to be blindly followed. They are a set of tools for understanding the mind, cultivating compassion, and living a more fulfilling life. They are an invitation to explore, to question, and to discover our own path to liberation. The Buddha's legacy continues to inspire and guide us today. His final teachings, imbued with the wisdom of a lifetime, offer a profound message of hope and liberation. They invite us to explore the depths of our own being, discover the transformative power of compassion and wisdom, and embark on our own journey toward enlightenment.
The air was heavy with the scent of sandalwood and approaching monsoon rain. Gautama Buddha, frail but radiating a luminous serenity, rested against the trunk of a sala tree. His breaths were shallow, his earthly journey nearing its end. Yet his eyes shone with an immense compassion, reflecting a lifetime dedicated to guiding others towards liberation from suffering. This was not an ending, but a transition, a final teaching in impermanence, a testament to the truth that every ending is a new beginning. Buddha's final days were as profound as his life's teachings. Born Siddhartha Gautama, a prince shielded from the harsh realities of life, he renounced his privileged existence to seek enlightenment. his quest was driven by a deep compassion for humanity, a desire to alleviate the suffering that he witnessed all around him. After years of intense meditation and self-discovery, he attained enlightenment under the Bodhi tree, becoming the Buddha, the awakened one. Buddha's teachings centered around the four noble truths: the truth of suffering, the truth of the cause of suffering, the truth of the end of suffering, and the truth of the path to the end of suffering. He taught the Eightfold Path as a practical guide to ethical conduct, mental discipline, and wisdom, leading to liberation from the cycle of birth and death. His teachings transcended religious boundaries, offering a path to inner peace and liberation accessible to all. His message resonated with people from all walks of life, from kings and queens to merchants and farmers. He taught with clarity and simplicity, using stories and parables to illustrate his points. He emphasized the importance of compassion, kindness, and understanding, urging his followers to live in harmony with themselves, with others, and with the natural world. Buddha's life was a testament to his teachings. He lived simply, embracing humility and eschewing material possessions. He treated everyone with equal respect, regardless of their social status or background. His teachings were not mere words, but a reflection of his own lived experience, a testament to the transformative power of his wisdom. As his final days approached, Buddha's physical body grew weaker. He experienced pain and discomfort, the inevitable consequences of old age and illness. Yet, his spirit remained undimmed, his mind clear and focused. He continued to share his wisdom with those around him, emphasizing the importance of mindfulness, acceptance, and compassion even in the face of suffering. He reminded his disciples that impermanence was an inherent part of life, that everything that arises must eventually pass away. He urged them to embrace this truth, not with fear or despair, but with a sense of peace and understanding. He taught them that by accepting the impermanent nature of all things, they could find true liberation from suffering. Buddha's physical decline served as a powerful reminder to his followers that everything in the material world is impermanent. His weakening body became a living embodiment of his teachings, demonstrating that even the most vibrant life eventually fades away. However, his message of hope and liberation remained strong, proving that true strength lies in the spirit, not the physical form. Despite the physical challenges he faced, Buddha never wavered in his commitment to his disciples. He continued to teach and guide them, offering words of comfort and encouragement. He reminded them that even though his physical presence would soon be gone, his teachings would always be with them, guiding them on their own paths to enlightenment. During his final days, Buddha's interactions with his disciples took on a profound significance. He answered their questions with patience and clarity, addressing their fears and doubts about his impending passing. He reassured them that death was not the end, but a transition to a new state of being. He emphasized that his teachings would continue to guide them, serving as a beacon of light on their spiritual journeys. One by one, disciples approached their beloved teacher, seeking guidance and solace. With each interaction, Buddha offered personalized teachings, addressing their specific concerns and anxieties. He reminded them of the importance of living in the present moment, of cultivating compassion and loving kindness, and of diligently practicing the Eightfold Path. In a particularly poignant exchange, his attendant Ananda, overcome with grief, pleaded with Buddha to reconsider his departure. With characteristic compassion, Buddha consoled Ananda, reminding him that all things are impermanent and that attachment to even the most beloved beings inevitably leads to suffering. He gently urged Ananda to seek solace not in his physical presence, but in the timeless wisdom of his teachings. These final interactions were not merely farewells, but profound teachings in themselves. They underscored the importance of living a meaningful life, cultivating compassion for all beings, and seeking liberation from suffering through mindful living and spiritual practice. As the day transitioned into twilight, Buddha's breaths grew shallower, his earthly journey nearing its end. His disciples gathered around him, their hearts heavy with sorrow yet uplifted by the profound serenity that emanated from their beloved teacher. In those final moments, Buddha imparted his final teaching, the ultimate truth that he had dedicated his life to sharing. With a voice barely a whisper, he reminded his disciples that all things are impermanent, subject to change and decay. He emphasized that clinging to the illusion of permanence only led to suffering, urging them to embrace the ever-changing nature of existence. He stressed the importance of taking refuge in the Dharma, the teachings, as a guiding light on their own paths to enlightenment. His final words were a testament to the core principles of his teachings. Subject to decay are all compounded things. Strive diligently. With these words, he encouraged his followers to cultivate mindfulness, to recognize the impermanent nature of all phenomena, and to strive diligently on their spiritual journeys. And then, with a final peaceful exhale, Gautama Buddha entered parinirvana, the ultimate cessation of suffering and the cycle of rebirth. His passing was not an end, but a transformation, a merging of his individual consciousness with the infinite. It was the ultimate embodiment of his teachings, a final, profound lesson in impermanence, detachment, and the liberation that comes from embracing the true nature of reality. Buddha's passing was a moment of profound significance for his followers, marking the beginning of a new era. The man, Gautama, was gone, but the Buddha, the awakened one, lived on through his teachings. His disciples, now entrusted with the responsibility of preserving and sharing his message, embarked on a mission to spread the Dharma throughout the world. The teachings, initially transmitted orally, were meticulously compiled and preserved in scriptures. Monasteries and temples were established, serving as centers of learning and practice. Over centuries, Buddhism spread throughout Asia and beyond, evolving into various traditions while remaining rooted in the core principles of wisdom, compassion, and ethical conduct. Buddha's teachings provided a path to inner peace and liberation from suffering, offering solace and guidance to people from all walks of life. The Four Noble Truths and the Eightfold Path provided a practical framework for understanding the nature of suffering and cultivating a life of wisdom, compassion, and ethical conduct. The impact of Buddha's final days resonated deeply within the Buddhist community. His emphasis on impermanence, detachment, and diligent practice became central tenets of Buddhist thought and practice. His last words served as a constant reminder that the journey to enlightenment is an ongoing process, requiring dedication, mindfulness, and a deep understanding of the ever-changing nature of reality. In today's fast-paced world, fraught with distractions and uncertainties, Buddha's teachings offer a timeless source of wisdom and guidance. His insights into the nature of suffering, the importance of mindfulness, and the transformative power of compassion remain as relevant today as they were centuries ago. The practice of mindfulness, a cornerstone of Buddhist teachings, encourages us to be fully present in each moment, to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment. This practice can help us cultivate a sense of inner peace, reduce stress and anxiety, and develop a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. Buddha's teachings on compassion and loving kindness offer an antidote to the anger, hatred, and division that plague our world today. By cultivating compassion for ourselves and others, we can break down barriers, build bridges of understanding, and create a more harmonious and compassionate society. In an age of increasing materialism and consumerism, Buddha's emphasis on simplicity and contentment provides a refreshing alternative. By recognizing that true happiness comes from within, not from external possessions or achievements, we can find contentment and satisfaction in the present moment, freeing ourselves from the relentless pursuit of more. Buddha's journey reminds us that enlightenment is not a distant goal reserved for monks and nuns in secluded monasteries. It is a state of being, a way of life that is accessible to anyone regardless of their background or circumstances. It is a journey of self-discovery, compassion, and mindful living that begins within. We can all strive to cultivate the qualities that Buddha embodied: compassion, wisdom, humility, and mindfulness. We can practice meditation, engage in acts of kindness, and live in accordance with ethical principles. We can learn to observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment, developing a deeper understanding of ourselves and the world around us. The path to enlightenment is not always easy, but it is a journey worth taking. It is a journey that challenges us to grow, to learn, and to become the best versions of ourselves. It is a journey that leads to inner peace, compassion, and a deep sense of interconnectedness with all beings. As we have journeyed together through the final teachings of Gautama Buddha, let us carry his wisdom in our hearts. Let us remember his emphasis on mindfulness, compassion, and diligent practice. Let us strive to live in accordance with his teachings, cultivating inner peace and spreading loving kindness to all beings. Take a moment to reflect on what resonated with you most deeply. Was it the Buddha's unwavering compassion? His emphasis on mindfulness and presence? His message of impermanence and the importance of letting go? Share these insights with others. Engage in conversations about the relevance of Buddha's teachings in today's world. Discuss how his wisdom can help us navigate the challenges of modern life, cultivate inner peace, and create a more compassionate and just society. Remember, each of us carries within us the potential for enlightenment. By embracing the teachings of the Buddha and sharing his light with others, we contribute to creating a brighter future for ourselves and for generations to come. Let us embark on this journey together, supporting one another along the path to awakening.